Good morning, students. Today, let me discuss the subsequent important terms and the concepts of the income tax. Let us go through one by one. The first important concept is that income. Section 2, subsection 24 of the Income Tax Act 1961. So, speaking about the concept of income. Generally, the income is nothing but it is a monetary benefit which is received by the assessee. That is so called as an income. Why? Because strictly speaking about section 2 subsection 24 does not give the specific or the exact definition of income, but it gives only the items which are going to be covered and included in the concept of income. It literally means that it gives what is inclusive definition of the income. So what are the important items which are going to be included in the concept of income? First thing is that if any kind of the profits or gains which are going to be received by the assessee, all those profits and gains will be for part of the income only. And apart from that, if any kind of the dividend which is received either on the equity shares, either on the preference shares, that dividend so received by the assessee is going to be included in the concept of income. And apart from that, any kind of special allowances which are going to be issued or given for performance of the duties of the assessee or the employee, that is also going to be included in the concept of income only. Any kind of city compensatory allowances, it means this is an allowance which is given when there is increase in the cost of living of the people. Then city compensatory allowances is going to be given by the company to the employees. That is also going to be included in a term called as the income only. And apart from that, income from salaries, income from house property and income from other sources are going to be included within the meaning of income only. And if you go through the capital gains, any kind of gains under the head income from capital gains under section 45, that is going to be included as a part of the income only. And apart from that, any kind of profit or gains which is going to be received from the insurance business, by the mutual insurance company or the cooperative society, that profit are going to be included as a part of income only. And apart from that, if any kind of profits so earned by the sale of license which is granted under license control order, import license control order, that is also going to be included as a part of income only. And apart from that, any kind of casual income in the sense any receipts which are non-recurring and which are unexpected, those are going to be form part of the income only. And in case of partnership firm, if any partner is going to earn interest, bonus, salary, remuneration, commission, that will also form part of the income only. And apart from that, if any kind of the sum which is going to be received by the Keyman insurance policy. Keyman insurance policy in the sense, this is the policy which is taken on the key personnel of the business organization. If any kind of the sum is going to be received under the Keyman insurance policy, that is also going to be included as a part of the income only. And apart from that, if any kind of bonus is going to be received on the Keyman insurance policy, that is also going to be included within the meaning of income only. So like this, what actually is mean by the income in the sense, it means and includes all these elements. Whatever the elements that I have discussed right now, all those going to be formed as a part of the income only. Why? Because you are studying the income tax and the tax is going to be imposed on the income only. That is why within the literature of the income tax, the concept of income is very important. That is why that is all about the concept of income. And second thing is that the deemed income. So what actually is mean by deemed income? So here the concept itself states that deemed means which is assumed or presumed, that is so called as the deemed. Income means any kind of monetary benefits received by the assessee, that is so called as the income. It means that if any receipts which are going to be measured in terms of monetary benefits and those benefits are going to be earned by the assessee, those are termed to be as the income. So that is why the combination of deemed and the income gives us the concept of deemed income. So deemed income is also having the equal weightage as that of income only. Why? Because assessee needed to pay the tax on deemed income also. It means the deemed income also form part of the income only, and on that the tax is going to be paid by the assessee to the income tax department. So what all are going to be constituted as a part of a deemed income? One is, say for example, cash credits. So what is cash credit? Cash credit in the sense, if any amount which is going to be credited to my account, say for example I am having an account with the SBI and one of my friends has rightly deposited 50,000 to my account, and without having knowledge of it, I have already filed a return, income tax returns with the income tax authority, and later I come to know that 50,000 has been deposited to my account without giving any kind of a intimation to me. By that time the income tax authority may ask me, what is that 50,000 which has been credited to your account? And at the time of income tax return filing, even you have not disclosed that much of amount which has been deposited to your account, and in that time if I am incapable to give the justification, if I have failed to give the valid reasons, by that time that 50,000 will form part of my taxable income only. That is one thing. And second thing is that the unexplained money. Unexplained money in the sense, if any kind of cash which is kept in my house, if any kind of bullion, jewelry which I have purchased and I have not shown in my books of accounts, it means that much of amount that I have blocked, that has not been disclosed to the income tax authorities, that is so called as the unexplained money. On that also you are supposed to pay the tax. And apart from that, unexplained investments not fully disclosed in the books of accounts. Best example can be, I have purchased one machinery costing rupees 50,000, and when the machinery is going to be purchased, that has to be disclosed as a fixed assets in the books of accounts. But what I will do, I have made the investment, but I have not disclosed in the books of accounts. Then what income tax authority will state? They state that you need to pay a tax on that. And apart from that, I have purchased one residential site, and that property belongs to me, and I made investment in respect of buying one residential plot, and that residential plot has not been disclosed as my real asset in my books of accounts. So such things are going to be disclosed to the income tax authority, otherwise they are termed to be as the deemed income only. And apart from, one more best example can be unexpected expenditure. Unexpected expenditure in the sense, the expenditure which is not going to be predicted. Say for example, my revenue is 5 lakh only, but how much I have shown is advertisement expenses amounted to rupees 10 lakhs. So that whatever the expenditure that I have made, I cannot give the proper explanation. Such kind of unexplained expenditure will also form part of the deemed income only. That is why within the literature of the Income Tax Act, the deemed income is also very important. And later we are going to study about the casual income. Casual income is also called as windfall profit. It literally means that any kind of receipts which are non-recurring in nature and which are not expected to be received, those are so called as the casual income. So this casual income will also going to be included as a part of an income only. And best examples for the casual income can be winning from lotteries, winning from horse races, winning from crossword puzzles, winning from gambling, betting. Those can be best example for the casual income. That is why you need to understand these are the different incomes which will form part of the income only, and as you being a income tax payer, you need to consider all these elements at the time of payment of a tax. Okay, please go through these 3 important elements. With this I am going to conclude my discussion. Thank you.